not just express how many, like, so I looked at so many speed paints of just like analyzing, okay, what is the layer, what is the brush stroke, what did they use specifically, or how did they draw this thing, how did they draw the hair. uh it's just a lot of stuff that you can take inspiration from other artists. It's insane how cool uh it is, I guess, to look at other people's art styles. And also, once you learn all these things, even though in the beginning they might be hard, once you become more experienced, it just becomes second nature to you. It just comes, I guess.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of art is very just like relies on you looking at something and just trying to figure it out yourself. I mean, the thing with like, making your own style and, all these other questions that beginner artists usually ask and stuff like that, it really just boils down to you learning the basic shape of like the pony, for example. I think like in the pony drawing thing on the bale, the third image, it's like a tutorial how to draw like just a standing pony. If you can get good at that, and then from there, it's literally just building on top of it, looking at other artists, being like, I like that, and trying to incorporate it into your own thing.
All
And
right.
learning about like the fundamentals of art, the principles of art, like movement, that's more of like after you go into beginning and you go intermediate, you want to learn about movement or like facial expression, how color works. Those are more advanced topics, but they're everyone has their own pace, but they're just like a lot of things you have to look out for. No artist is perfect. I don't think perfection in art doesn't exist. It's just everyone's constantly learning.
Yeah, like the whole
Well,
doodling and
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm going to cut you off and just ask Seafood, do you have any thoughts?
Any thoughts on improving art?
Yeah.
With that, oh man, after throughout all these years of me doing all this like drawing and whatnot, and I see someone in the chat saying, "What about doodling, getting frustrated and deleting it over and over?" Um, Occasionally that happens to me sometimes because it doesn't look the way I want things to, but sometimes it's okay if something turns out not so good on the first time, because obviously with that you learn how to, I mean, you learn how to figure out what looks right with your art style and what doesn't. And if you know, if it doesn't look good and you throw it in the trash, that's fine, because at the end of the day, you've tried to do something that's out of your comfort zone, and you're trying to get better at it. And eventually, you'll stop throwing away whatever you want to draw because it starts looking decent. You keep building upon it, and then it starts looking a lot better, and then you realize, oh shoot, I'm getting good at this now. But eventually, it takes a while. That takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I think I have more deleted artworks than I do actually posted artworks.
Yeah,
It, it's just a part of the process. So, like you're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna be frustrated at first because you're like, I can't fucking get this. And as long as you keep trying, you will get better, even if it doesn't seem like it. Like that's why you should always keep your old art so you can always compare and see, you can literally physically see your progress as an
improvement.
artist. Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
seen
Yeah.
I still have my old art from back like 2016, 2015, and oh man, things have changed
I've got shit
since
from
then.
2010. Yeah, it's it's nice seeing it though, because it's like, oh, thank God I'm not fucking that anymore.
Yeah, it really is. It really does help motivate me. Just looking back and just thinking to myself, whoa, it's like, dang, if me back then knew how I was gonna draw now, then yeah, that's a bit of a motivation booster for me.
The- I think a lot of becoming like the beginning part of an artist, it's a lot of intimidation. Like, if you look at the canvas right now, you have some pretty big names here, like TJ Pones or fucking Jargon or Horace Penn, just off the top of my head. And it doesn't matter, like you can physically see them drawing and like they look like they know exactly what they're doing, but I promise you, 10 minutes before, or when the last time they were drawing, they were erasing, 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 erasing. It doesn't matter how good you are, you don't get past that.
Yeah, that
And
never changes.
and actually, I have I kind of missed the boat on this, but I have another quote that's kind of relevant to what we were talking about. Fig said, "Always look to reasonably challenge yourself, whether it's a pose, perspective, or detail which you aren't confident with. It's important that you don't stunt your growth by just sticking to what is comfortable. I feel that this is a faster way of understanding your weaknesses and attacking them directly."
I mean, yeah, that kind of ties back to what we were saying before of like, the thing with becoming with art is like, it gets super nice and comfortable to just draw the same like 3/4 face over and over again. But if you do that, you're not gonna get better. You're just gonna be the dude who draws 3/4 all the fucking time. That's it. And if you actually, stick your neck out and if you actually stick your neck out and try these things, even if it looks shitty, as long as you tried and you're putting it out there going, hey, how do I get better at this? And giving a specific thing to look for, then you're already about like 100 miles ahead of a lot of beginning artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess like one thing that might sabotage artists is also like those who aren't willing to accept constructive criticism. Like that's a very big sabotage for many artists, I think.
I mean,
I
I think
spoke loud.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of fucking like in the dark here. I had to turn my thing up like to 80%, but yeah, I like it's always scary starting to draw that shit. But the thing with at least with this board is it is honestly super tightly knit. Like, yeah, everyone's an asshole, but they're an honest asshole, and they will genuinely try to show you and make you improve as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as an artist, that's your biggest best friend to get better is like an honest asshole.
It really is.
Because like throughout the artist community, you've got many people kind of like kissing your ass, and yeah, that's pretty cool. But is it really helping you improve? Not necessarily. It's sometimes it can inhibit you from getting to your potential or getting to where you want.
Yeah, you
experience.
need the a-hole in your life to tell you this doesn't look right, and you need to work on this and that, because you're never gonna get better if you don't know what's wrong. You know?
Another thing is sometimes you have to be that asshole. Like it's just the truth. Like sometimes you have to sit there and tell your friend or whoever, you kind of suck at this, but here's how we can help.
Yeah, we can rebuild.
Yeah, honestly, that's like the whole Bale thread in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like your art sucks. Here, let's see how we can make it better.
Yeah.
One thing that helps me, like, I'm sorry, like I interrupted, but like, whenever I get really angry the night before because I can't do something correct, and it's nighttime and it's really late, I just sleep. And the reason being is because you learned all of these things. So I saw this from an artist YouTuber, but you learn all of these things throughout the day in terms of your art. But if you don't sleep, your body doesn't continue that, like your brain doesn't continue that learning process that you had. So it's really good to take care of yourself too if you want to learn art. And if you get frustrated, you can just sleep and come back and you're like, okay, this looked weird. Okay, let me fix it. So that's what I always do too. Just give yourself a break if you're too frustrated.
Yeah, taking a break is honestly one of the hardest parts about being like a really passionate artist, because like when I started, I drew non-fucking stop to the point that I literally injured myself because like I just overused my hand. And as cool and fun as it is to make a bunch of really small pictures and have fun, it's more important to take a break, take a breather, and figure out what you want to do, and then continue on with that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, you guys. I think we're going to move on to the next group since we've got a lot of people in it. But thanks a ton for everything, for your advice and everything. And yeah.
Sorry, we were kind of fucking stuttery dumb shits.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're all autists here.
Yeah, we're all autistic here. It's all cool.
Be better than me. That's all I can say from here on out. Try to be better than me.
I'll do my best.
So,
Wasn't talking to you, but all right.
well, thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right. And now we're going to move on to the next group with Clipper, Wolven, Wapamario 63, Our Horse and OJ. And let me... Hello.
And that's how I smooched the real-life Lyra heartstrings. Oh, hey!
What a wonderful
And that's
story.
how
Speaking
Rat
of
caught
shit,
AIDS. She
Best
got
story,
horse AIDS.
absolutely.
Yeah, it was
Based.
amazing, man. You should have been there.
All right. So, for you guys. And so this group, I mean, you'll probably notice with Wolven and Clipper in here, it's more than just artist. And I mean, art, Bale itself is kind of full of more than just art, even though it's mostly just like drawing stuff. But I think that there really is something that here that can apply to you in any case. Like even if you're not an artist, there's probably something that you'll pick up here that will hopefully be helpful in what these guys say and in what other groups say. But let's start with this question. This is for Rot and OJ. So a few of you talked about how projects are a great way to work, learn, and improve. And our horse said, start projects as soon as you have the idea, no matter the skill level. Make studies have a purpose towards these. So what are your thoughts on that, and on projects and stuff, and how should you approach them, and how can they help you?
I guess just tackle them head on. Normally the mindset of people when they get into drawing is that it's like, oh, I have this great idea, but I'm not good enough yet. I'm gonna sit here and draw boxes for the next 3 months, and you're never going to get anything done with that mindset. And in fact, you'll prove faster if you can do studies that work toward the goal of completing projects. Like if you're trying to design like your own design of sea ponies or something, maybe take a day off and just draw a bunch of fish. And you know, it does help because you're learning something and then you're applying it directly afterwards. It'll stick more. That's about it.
I would kind of say it's around the same thing. I would probably say do some studies on top of the work that you're doing, and yeah, if you're able to apply it to the project that you're working on, then it's just going to stick with you for a lot longer. Though I would say most importantly, if you're going to start on a project, learn how to finish it. So start on something small. Even if you have this huge grandiose idea, that's great, but work yourself up to the points to where you have that discipline to be able to finish it.
So where should someone look for ideas for projects, or how should they like go about starting new ones?
Just do what you like.
Yeah, just consume things that you like. Whether ponies, anything like that. If you have an idea for a fun story, or whether it's a comic or a little animation or something like that, find a goal that you want to hit, so that way you can start working yourself towards it.
Yeah.
When it comes to ideas, I usually just find inspiration from other people's stuff most of the time.
That's fine. Like even if your project idea is to like animate or make a comic of someone else's green text or something, that's perfectly fine for an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go on to the next question. This one's for Wolven. So, your projects are a bit different than projects that artists or other people would start. Because it's more organization and less creating things. So, Wolven, how did you get so involved with so many board projects? And what advice would you have for someone that has ambitions of starting one for themselves?
Well, I guess I can start out with the advice. My advice is just put yourself out there. Put out your skills. Like, the reason I really started getting involved with board projects, my first big involvement was during Mare-itory, where I made use of my less than stellar but at least somewhat usable skill in web design, quote-unquote design, to make like a quick just whip up a quick website and like use my server capacities and to actually like host that on a server that can't just be taken down, because that was the issue that the pack was having on day one, where they just kept being wiped from every platform thanks to, I don't know who it was, but I don't really care. We didn't have any permanent place to stay, so I jumped in and made one. And that got me talking with a lot of people that ran board projects before. Data, for example, who's done CFAC for years.
Yep, 5 years straight.
5 years straight. Thanks, Rod. And like, I ended up helping out with like collecting the donations and or rather managing donation collection. I was knowing how to stream, and I was a driving force behind the couple Mare-itory streams that we did to celebrate the entire thing, which boosted our money again for like considerably, $21,000. But yeah, that was my first involvement. And then when MPP came around, the plushie project, it was Data and Princess Shitposter got together and got involved, and we ended up having Data ended up coming to me because he knew that I have a pretty good skill for organization and like making Google spreadsheets that we use to manage everything, or like making the docs machine that sends out the order confirmations and tracking numbers, and that's how I basically made a name for myself, and that's why people keep when like things start happening, when like someone needs something organized, people know, hey, this guy exists, Wolven exists, and he tends to be 9 out of 10 times he tends to be willing to help out with my project. And the reason I got to this point is because I put my skills out there once. I showed people, hey, here I am, I want to help you guys, I can help you guys, just go ahead and make use of my skills, especially if they benefit someone else.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. So I guess the trick is really just teamwork and putting yourself out there.
It very much is friendship. Once people know that you exist, once people have an idea that you can be available, once someone knows that there's like this niche that needs to be filled in a job that they can't do themselves because it's complicated or shit like that, then you already have like this entry point of people pointing to you, hey, this guy has done that before. But to even get to this point, you need to be a little proactive and like actually be, hey, please, I have these skills, make use of them, I can help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same thing happened to me. I was very quiet for a while, and then somebody dragged me into CFAC, and I got to meet Date, and now I'm just pulled into everything myself.
All right.
The closest thing to me would be in the TF2 server when I suggested about making mare maps.
Yeah, that got like a
Since
whole group involved.
Yeah. I first fixed King of the Hill Apple Acres, and then later on decided mare version product, mare water.
Whoa.
Got
Mare water.
coming in. Yeah, the original map bat water. Mare water.
They replaced the bad
I
water
like
with
mares.
mares.
Yeah.
It's just
right.
it's just an entire ocean of sea of mares.
All right.
Sadly, it's not exactly like ocean. If it was an ocean, the server would just crash.
All right, we're going to.
Like,
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. Going to ask the next question now. So a few of you have been known to live stream. Well, a few of you are known to live stream a lot while you work, mainly Clipper, Rot, and Wappa. How does that help you? And do you think that's something that others should consider, or that beginners should consider?
Yes.
You go first, sure.
Oh,
differs.
yeah, sure. So people are out there spending thousands of dollars for a classroom environment where people are looking over your shoulder, and you know, you can compare notes, and people can give you feedback live. You don't need to do that. I highly recommend, like, even if you've just started drawing today, to start up a live stream and stick to a schedule, and just keep at it, because it does really help focus.
Yes, so it does very much benefit me, and I think the biggest benefit, building on your point, is the removal of the mental barriers. When working on a project, especially like a long-term one, the two most difficult things to do are to, one, get started, and then two, to maintain the momentum. And if you're streaming at a set time every day, it eventually just becomes part of your schedule, like, oh, it's 7 o'clock now, time to work on the project. Just like how you eat, sleep, go to work, cuddle your plushie, whatever, at set times of the day, your brain will just end up doing it automatically. And then, once you're quote-unquote on camera, it just makes it so much harder for you to get distracted. You're a lot less likely to do unrelated things while you're being watched, so just puts up another mental barrier of sorts to not using your time effectively. Oh yeah, and Rot, you made the point of the people wanting the classroom environment.
Yeah.
When you're streaming, it typically attracts the kind of people that are interested in watching what you're doing and have an interest in the end result being good. Therefore, the chat is an invaluable, and I really want to stress invaluable, asset to this. People in chat will provide suggestions, give instant feedback, and sometimes even volunteer to do some of the work for you. So if anyone in the audience happens to be one of those kind of nuns who helped me in previous projects, just want to say thanks. Means a lot. I'll let someone else jump in now. I've been talking for a while.
Yeah, so Wappa, do you have anything you want to say about streaming?
Alright. I've been streaming for nearly a decade. Mainly I only did gaming, but when I started drawing years later, I decided to split apart a section just for art, and all I did, and still to this day, just do draw requests. And it's kind of fun. Just to draw mares that others request.
Cool. Do you think that helps you draw more or enjoy drawing more?
Definitely helps me draw more. There's a week that I just didn't end drawing, then the streams pretty much count. Pretty much forces draw that week. Am I really that quiet?
Okay.
Maybe a little, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
You just boost the volume, it's fine.
All right.
You asked if streaming is something beginners should consider?
Yeah.
I'll just jump in for that. So, I'd say that you should have at least a rudimentary idea of what you're doing before streaming, since managing a stream and working at the same time can be overwhelming in the initial stage when you're not used to it. It'll ultimately have to come down to a judgment call on whether or not you think you're ready. So, if you do want to get into this, really, all you need is a YouTube account, OBS, and a microphone. So just keep it simple, you know. If you end up doing it regularly, you can invest a little time watching some tutorial on how to use the tools most effectively. That's what I did. Oh, and one extra side note, the Pony Preservation Project has its own SciTube channel where I embed all the streams that I do. So if you want to do content creation specifically for the Pony Preservation Project with AI stuff, let me know and I can get you set up over there.
Cool. All right, I have a few quotes to read from some people who answered the survey but aren't here for the interview. One is from, and these are kind of related to what we've been talking about, kind of. But one's from Pony Quarantine. He says, "Make sure you like what you're doing. Sometimes just changing the medium can break your art slump. References and studies can never be overstated." And then another one from an anonymous survey responder. He said, "I believe that your hobbies should supplement your work. You an engineering artist? Try, for example, breaking down anatomy into easily replicable structures. Make prefabs or do 3D. If you know CAD, you know how to make 3D environments. Such environments can be a great guideline and stage for illustrations or character models. Personally, I like things that are intuitive, tactical, practical, mirroring my work and other hobbies. My art is rather simple. I'm terrible at designing outfits, for example, but I do quite well at making characters express themselves in just the right way, or generally whittling down details I consider noisy or extraneous. I really want to feel these mares, so I try to make them look like something I can reach out and feel with as little extra fluff as I can. And thanks to those that answered the survey. All right, and to kind of round this out, I've got a question for Clipper. Tell us about some helpful tools that we can use for our future pony making endeavors.
Yeah, sure. I can give a rundown of the AI tools currently available. So we all probably know about 15 AI, which is easy to access and use, and it's due to get a significant quality update any day now. If you want to do singing or rap, Sortinon's controllable TalkNet is the choice. It allows you fine control of the voice by using reference audio. You can sing a line into your microphone and the pony will sing it back to you in the same way. For text, we have GPT Pony, a text-generating model built on a pre-existing GPT-J that was fine-tuned on a curated selection of stories from Fim Fiction. It won't write a fully coherent multi-chapter story for you, at least not yet, but it's great at fleshing out prompts and continuing dialogue, so any write fags in the audience, if you're struggling to write a scene or keep natural flow of dialogue, run your story through the text generator a few times and see what it comes up with. It proved actually very helpful for us when we were writing the upcoming PPP panel. And then, to keep everything relevant to the draw pile, for images, we have ClipDraw and DALL-E Mini. These are models available to anyone really to use. These will generate images based on a prompt that you give it, like a text prompt, and they do have a decent awareness of ponies. The images they produce are often coherent enough to be understandable, but not precise enough to be considered proper drawings, so I would suggest that the aspiring draw fags actually take advantage of that to create reference images to draw from and fill in the blanks where the AI is a little unsure. And then experienced draw fags can also use it to come up with new ideas. And I'll actually be showcasing a load of examples of this in the PPP panel. Yeah, so if any of those ideas excite you come watch our panel tomorrow for more info. You can find all the resources in the Pony Preservation Project thread, and we'll be happy to help you if you get stuck with anything or whatever. So
all right.
Come and make more AI mares, please.
Yeah, thanks, Clipper.
Boy, mares.
And we got like 2 more minutes. If anyone has anything else they'd like to add. OJ, I think you didn't have too much of a chance to talk. I don't know if you have anything.
I mean, everyone kind of already said about, for the most part, what I probably would have said. I guess like one of the main things is, just earlier, I think I made a comment about it yesterday about the doing 3D in CAD, especially when it comes to things like environments and stuff like that. If you're going to be tackling things like that, especially if it's with scenes, be sure to use thumbnails as well. That's a really good way for getting you past that kind of like empty canvas type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I mean, everybody had really good answers, and so I mean, heck, I'm just sitting here and soaking up and gonna yoink that for my own
adding
stuff.
on to that, thumbnails, it also works for right fagging. If you're having trouble because you're staring at a blank screen, just bang the words out. It's like the writing equivalent of thumbnailing. Just get all the words down there, even if you might delete half of it later. It's so much easier to work off of that than nothing.
Like a bullet point list, you mean? That's the kind of thing that I
here's
do
some
online
advice.
instead.
Yeah.
Here's some advice when you're kind of stuck with, say, either for a background or for just the pose of the mare that you're drawing. You can use something like Gmod, for example, or even Blender, any 3D software. But I personally use Gmod.
For 2D artists as well.
You just post the mare in Gmod, the closest as possible to what you want to draw, and use that as a sort of reference.
Just Google SketchUp.
I have a friend who's actually whose entire art's way of doing things is he makes the scene in Blender with like pre-existing models, and then he paints over that Blender scene to like get the lighting perfectly right, and like get the poses perfectly right, and like the proportions. Basically, he makes this black and white scene or some shit in Blender, and then uses paint over to make a real picture out of it.
All right.
Yeah, and
sorry,
remember the Twilight Velvet painting I did. I actually used Gmod. I post Twilight Velvet a bit, and then the box, and sitting on a box, 2-fort. The background's supposed to be one of the walls of 2-fort, but I really didn't get obvious that it is that.
All right. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off here. We're going to switch to the next group and wipe the canvas and start a new game.
Oh boy.
So I have, this canvas is 4K. I have one that's 8K with the same size hexagons, or I have one that's,
I think it'll lag.
It'll lag? All right. So I have another one that's 4K, same size, but the hexagons are shorter. Should I do that, or just another with the same sizes?
Run the size again.
Okay. All right. I will do that then. Everybody save backups.
Don't forget to save.
Yeah, I'm going to lock everything.
Yeah.
Everyone
also
save the mares.
Fuck you, Jargon Scott. I know he's gonna talk shit. There we go. I got it in. No. I mean,
Yeah. All right. All right. Everyone save your mares. Yeah, Twilight did not send. It's because I couldn't draw. I couldn't be there drawing. I would have filled up half the canvas. All right. Let's. Okay. I'm going to wipe this, or actually, I'll get started with the next one, and then I'll wipe it. Hey.
Right,
oh
fuck
shit!
You.
All right.
It's perp.
I'm gonna ask.
Oh.
I'm gonna ask the first question, and let you guys answer it. And while you're answering that, I will do the thing. Oh, but I forgot to introduce you guys. We got Anon the Anon, Jargon Scott, Alum.
Greetings.
Lockhart and M. Cogwheel.
Howdy.
All right. So first question. Let me. Yeah. So one thing that a lot of you guys kind of said similarly is that you, when you draw to make things that you want to see, kind of. Like you just draw for fun. You draw what you want, and I think I can speak for a lot of people when I say it generally ends up. A lot of people end up liking it too. But how do you feel about that approach to your art, or to making things, and how can other people do the same? I guess.
Drawing what you like. Which order do we go on?
I don't know. You can start.
So, drawing what you like. I mean, the thing I can comment on that is just, I mean, it's something like when you do commissions or something. Like if you draw a robot, and then everyone commissions you to draw a robot, and you don't like drawing a robot, you're gonna be the guy that draws robots. So that's the thing. That's how you should approach your art. Like if you draw what you like, people are gonna follow you for what you like, and it's like no, don't get distracted by like don't think. I don't know. Like my personal experience with this is just doing shitpost animations, and people liked it, and I just kept doing it. So that's how I can comment on that. I don't know.
I think that kind of also applies to your art style as well. What I noticed, it's a trap I fell in as well, is when you first start drawing, you just want to have your own art style, and you just want to stick to the art style. No, just draw whatever you think looks good. If it means like copying some other art styles, if it looks good, keep doing it. That's how you learn. I tried like several months trying to come up with my own art style, and that kind of hindered my art a lot. And after years of drawing, I realized my art style is not something I can control. It just happens gradually, and as I get more inspiration from my other sources. So yeah, just draw what you think looks good, not what you think you should draw as.
think kind of bouncing off of what Almex was saying about like drawing for yourself and not becoming the guy who draws robots.
Let's go. Let's draw robots.
It's very easy to get kind of caught up with, I guess, a little bit of like the fame of everything. You might have a couple of posts that might do very well because of the theme of the image is generally what a lot of people kind of like. But there's the issue of falling into ruts because the stuff that you want to be drawing doesn't do too well with the people that you're posting to, the people who are following you, and it's very easy to just fall out of the passion and get burnt out from just trying to please a large crowd rather than trying to just draw for yourself. I'm unfortunately have experience with that, but now I just generally try to just draw whatever it is I want when it is I want, and I don't tend to follow what like the Twitter numbers give me. I just try to draw what I want. That's how I keep going.
Yeah, no, you cannot fall into the trap of like, oh, I this got a whole bunch of numbers. I gotta draw only this thing. Because you do that, you're hurting yourself.
Hell, sometimes just draw something that people will hate just to filter off all the people you don't want.
I mean, something what's very important that's related to this is just drawing for yourself and not for others. That's like that's the thing that's the shortcut to happiness and to being a happy.
Personally, I only draw stuff I want to see.
Yeah, not even stuff you want to see. Like you just draw for yourself. Like I started. I remember there's like something a mentality I had like back in the like very early days. I was drawing like I was the only person seeing my art ever. Like, and it took a lot of pressure off, like expectation and like doing like oh no, nobody like this or this. Like I don't care. Like I did it for myself. I'm happy. Like maybe I'm not satisfied with results. Like oh, I could improve an atom or whatever. But by doing it for yourself, like people eventually find out, and you will never get sad for discovering the perfect recipe.
Sweet. All right. Let me. Sorry, I'm back. Let me ask another question. So, Alum, when you were asked, when you filled out the survey that I sent, for advice for beginner artists, you just said don't do animation.
Yeah. No.
So.
Shit.
Yeah.
No. We're gonna fight.
Yeah, I wanted to hear this fight between Anon the Anon and MCOG. You guys both do animation. Would you caution or recommend animation to beginners?
Look, Anon is a bad example because he doesn't use shortcuts.
Shut up. Shut up. No, first of all, shortcuts are useless. Shortcuts are fucking useless. Second of all, fucking
dude animating on once.
You're animating in Photoshop. Shut up.
Photoshop is great for animating. You should animate it whatever makes it draw better.
No, okay, look, here's the thing. Animating improves your art because, you get faster, you draw faster because you're forced to draw. I don't know, you have a 10-second sequence, that's 240 drawings that you gotta do. So it helps you get in faster and shit. And also improves your spatial sense. You get your 3D in your mind because you gotta rotate the horses all the way around and shit. And so it's good. It's good for your brain. It's good for your brain. It's good for your soul. Animate more, please.
It also helps you to see things in 3D as well. Also, I spent 3 months just doing nothing but animating the 10th anniversary animation. After doing that animation, my art style improved drastically. Like I guess subconsciously I learned how to draw ponies more cuter and more efficiently. So animation traditionally definitely helps.
I'm gonna butt in and say that might be just a bit of a placebo thing there. It might just be because that you had been drawing so frequently on your animation that you became you kind of got the process down to a T. So
Yeah, but I mean, he was working towards something when he was doing that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
but I'm not
You
sure
draw-
whether or
you
not it's
draw-
because of animating specifically, but more so because you get what I mean. Hopefully,
It's just an animation helps you draw more, especially if you're doing traditional, because you improve if you draw more. But if you're animating, you're forced to draw at least 12 drawings per second. So that's a lot of drawing you gotta do. So you naturally improve. I guess it just puts you in a better mindset, I guess.
You know, I want to hear Alumex's side of the argument now. Why is it that you say that the kids don't do animation? Explain your reasoning.
Look. Actually, like the main reason why I say that is actually because animation is one of those like honey terms, like concept art, like a video game designer. Like it's the thing that everybody. It's like superstar position. Like why do you want to draw? I want to become an animator. Even though they know nothing about animation, even though they don't even know if they like animation, they just like the idea of animation, and
They like the idea of being like, I'm going to be an animator.
Yeah,
they
like,
don't realize that it takes a long time of drawing and figuring out all kinds of other things before you can even animate.
yeah, exactly. Like
it's one of those like, to make an apple pie, you have to create the universe kind of deals.
I guess, but I mean, I guess in both me and Cog specific cases, we got it picked out. That's actually how we improved that drawing. We just started doing animation, both of us.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the first hurdle you gotta leap before you truly start animating.
You know, just draw.
I basically just banged my head against Clip Studio until it worked. It took me a lot of trial and errors.
But when it works, it works.
Yeah. If you cannot get past it, then maybe animation is not good for you. But if you can get past the stage, then animation is good for you.
Look, I say it jokingly. I think I kind of encouraged more people into getting into animation than not getting into animation by saying don't do it. I mean, it's the basic fucking psychology. You tell someone don't do it. Yeah, you said you tell someone don't do it, they're gonna do it. The trick about all of this is that it's gonna take a lot of time, and you need to learn. You need to like develop a passion, like a flame that makes you wanna do it, other than results. Like you need to enjoy the process. For me, animation, like I don't even consider myself like Parade's animator. I just storyboard, I draw and storyboard and tell stories through drawing, and animation is the best medium for me to do that. And like you should not look at animation as a way to like a thing, but as a medium for you to express yourself. So it's the, and also it also I'm kind of pissed off at lack of 2D animation, so that's why
That's understandable.
That's why I kind of fell into this trap of like, okay, I'm gonna dedicate my life to this now. I wanna see the renaissance of this.
So
when I think about it, 3D animation is the ultimate like puppet animation. You just need to make one, and you can just use it forever and ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to. Let's see. Wait. Sorry. I'm going to ask another question now. Or no. Wait. I'm going to read a quote. This is from Batsy. As in response to the question, how do you stay motivated to keep drawing? Batsy said, "Personally, for me, half the motivation is simply the joy of drawing mares and that sharp excitement I feel when you draw a happy pony and she smiles back at you. Another big source of motivation in recent years is community projects in and around the board, whether that be drawing in one of the many Aggies, participating in the Gartic threads, or just drawing for a thread every now and then. The last major source of motivation for me is a bit of competitiveness. I like to try and one-up my last big piece every time I post something new. Whether that means trying new techniques, spending extra effort on lining, or studying an anatomy, there's no real downside to striving to improve. When you're starting out, though, try not to be so hard on yourself, and take pride in your accomplishments, however small. There will always be someone better than you, so don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to your past self, and try and grow relative to that. And then Omelet Pony, in response to the same question, how do you stay motivated to keep drawing? Simply said, mares.
I agree with mares. I completely agree with mares.
Mares.
That first response was really well put.
Yeah.
But honestly,
mares.
Personally, I do get where Betsy's coming from with everything. It's very easy to kind of compare yourselves to other people, especially if if you're developing around the same time as other people and sort of developing similar styles to each other. It was a very common thing with stuff like Flockmod, Aggie, these other sort of drawing programs. Generally, try to just strive to bettering yourself than you were yesterday is the general best way to do it. Not being too hard on yourself absolutely is everyone's their worst critic. So
yeah, that's true.
Actually, I'd say that it's actually even fine to compare yourselves to others as long as you don't make it your downfall. But you still need a frame of reference.
You can't let comparing yourself to other people get to you, because there's always going to be some like a random account that pops up out of nowhere, and they're going to be like, "Hi, I'm brand new to drawing. I've never drawn before," and they're going to post like 36 just banger drawings in a row. Like, it's going to be just fantastic.
Yeah,
it's how I feel about some of the people who have popped up recently.
yeah.
Like popped up recently drawing pony stuff. Like, I've never heard of these people, and then you fucking shows up at like fucking hell, Caballo, people on this board right now.
Yeah, there's new that's something I've been enjoying seeing a lot as like a recent like a lot of new pony artists, and they rock ass. Holy shit.
Yeah, I've noticed there's a lot of new people showing up, and then they indeed post some bangers, and then you're like, whoa, where's this person been? And then you find out like, oh, I've just been drawing since like 2020, and you're like, oh no,
oh my back.
Oh, my back. I'm getting old. I feel so old. Oh, guys, 2014 wasn't that long ago, right? Right?
Oh, my liver spots.
Liver.
Yeah, someone in the SciTube chat mentioned Kid Wizard, who just like came out.
Oh yeah, Kid Wizard. I love Kid Wizard.
I don't know where Kid Wizard came from, but he just showed up dropping animations, and it's like, holy crap, these are good.
Yeah.
How does he do it? How does a guy fucking do it like once a day? I don't fucking know, but I love it.
He posted one like yesterday or something, like a day or two ago.
It's illness. He's terminal. I'm so sad.
He tried animation.
I would have 7.
Want to stay away from it, kids. Do drugs. It's safer. It's easier to recover.
I've been better off just doing crack for the last 12 years.
Please.
I would at least be thinner.
All right. Well, I think...
Oh, wait, hang on a second. I got one last thing before you go, because I don't know if the people in the interview projects, in the project's interview talk shit, but I'm gonna talk shit about Rod real quick.
Yeah, that fucking...
Yeah, fucking
Vietnamese lady boy.
Fucking Reddit horse and her whiskers on horses. It's the new Tumblr.
Yeah, it's the new fucking Tumblr nose.
Anyway, yeah.
God damn, you're murdering.
Shots fired. Whiskers trimmed.
All right. Well, thank you, and bye. Later. All right. We're going to go on to the last group now. And this one has Pabli, Hatsi, Cami, and Sen, or Senalik, however you pronounce it. All right, hello.
Hi.
Hi. So, Let's see.
It's finally us.
Finally here, the last group. All right, let me see. Okay, so one thing that you guys all kind of talked about is how you should just keep on drawing and not get caught up in things not being perfect. So what can you say about perfectionism and why you should avoid it or why it's bad as a beginner artist?
Should I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
What do you have something to say, Cammy? Okay. So I guess what I found when I first started drawing mirrors is that your perception of art improves faster than your physical skill. You'll notice imperfection and flaws in art the more you draw. And if you try to be perfect for every picture, it's a demoralizing feeling because it will never be perfect when you look back at it next time. But yeah, I think it's a good practice to always compare where you are now to where you were previously, and just make note of where you improved and what you still need to work on. I think that would help any beginner artists to just set goals and decide where to go next.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't achieve perfection. It's not really a thing. And also, what you want to your goals will probably change anyway. I mean, I know what a lot of the artists I've loved have changed colossally over the years. It's the same with what I'm sort of want to do. But also, I think one of the things is, like, I think I was afraid to sort of do what I wanted because I didn't think I was good enough. And I think that if you want to paint or something, just get started, even if it sucks, and you're better at sort of line drawing. Just go with what you want to do. And yeah, always just keep trying new things. Hopefully I'm not still muted, right?
No, I can hear
Okay.
you perfectly.
Yeah, no.
I gotta agree with you here, Santa. Like, it's all about just getting out of your comfort zone and just starting the art.
Yeah, definitely. I think like a lot of the people, like one of the other sort of things was, what do you do if you draw a lot and you're not improving? I think as long as you are trying to do new things, you will just. I mean, you can improve in both ways, I guess, but you'll change. You'll keep, and as long as you're sort of changing, understanding new things, learning new things, you can, I guess, call it a win.
Yeah, and a few comments from Cammy said, anything that you actually make is by default better than something that's just not there outside your own head, and the idea evolves as it's drawn, and that's worth it on its own. And actually, let me read something else from Cammy. He said on why you should avoid perfectionism as a beginner. He said, because perfectionism is at odds with self-improvement. To improve, you have to embrace both your accidents and what you got right by accident. Perfectionism just sits in a corner grumpily telling people that they're shit and they should feel like shit.
I think yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, dissatisfaction is kind of good because it can help you motivate, but to keep on just, if you're permanently dissatisfied with what you do, it's going to kill your motivation.
Yeah, I agree. It's over time, if you're constantly trying to achieve perfection, it's absolutely crushing.
Also, I think like most people, like if you're on like Twitter or whatever, wherever you post your stuff, or 4chan, it's like most people only look at pictures like seconds, unless you're getting off to it or something, I guess. But so perfection is like an excuse to sit and like work for hours on things that no one else other than you is going to see or care about, and it's really just sort of work on what's important to the drawing. Just don't get hung up on tiny little details that really don't matter.
Right, sorry, I'm just looking at the next question to do. Okay, so, well, actually, I kind of want to Or no, I'll do this one. Or actually, bro. No, sorry. Let me read a few more quotes. Yeah, I got 2 quotes here. First one's from Firecracker. Firecracker said, "I have tricked myself into drawing every single day. This may not work for other people, but one day, after 10 days of drawing Lyra in a row, I just didn't want to break that streak. I have now drawn Lyra every single day for 315 days straight, so I recommend finding a way to fuel your own autism through trickery like this." Do you guys, is there a trick like that you guys have used to keep yourself motivated to keep on drawing?
Yeah. I joined this it's like a drawing prompt group a long time ago. It's called 30-minute challenge. I've been trying my best to keep up with it at least once or twice a day, and it's been a almost unbroken streak for about 5 years now, and it's really helped me just improve how I draw as an artist. And I think it's a great idea to just have yourself sit down and make a illustration every day and really look at how it looks compared to your previous drawing and look into where you can improve.
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah, it definitely helps if you do stuff for so it's not only you, but like a group, like if you've got a bunch of people doing 30-minute challenge, like Pavel said. But also, I don't think if you for a lot of people, I think if you sit and wait for the right mood to draw or the sort of motivation, you'll just never draw. Sometimes you really do just have to make yourself draw, and you sort of get into the habit.
Mm-hmm. There are like 2 camps between all of you guys that fill out the surveys. There were people that said you should draw what you hate and what you're bad at, and then other people said you should draw what you like so you can stay motivated and keep on drawing. And I think that kind of boils down to like what your goal is. You know, do you want to draw and make stuff, or do you want to be really good at drawing? And I think it's not going to be the same answer for everyone, and it shouldn't be.
I can see it like that. I think it comes down to a balance. I've been falling into the trap of just staying within my comfort zone. I've been wanting to learn how to paint for a while, and it's a struggle just to get started. But like when I first started drawing, I just didn't know how to draw, and joining a drawing prompt group, just forcing me to get a picture out every day, really helped with the initial hurdle. And I bet if any artist wants to learn something new, they first have to get themselves over the initial hurdle of just doing something outside the comfort zone.
Yeah, I think even people who just want to draw for the sake of drawing can probably, aspire to get better. And learning doesn't have to be a sad chore. I mean, it often is, but it's as with anything, if it's worth it, it's probably going to take effort.
I think that's something that you might unfortunately see on the Bale threads is people. Well, and I mean, like, there's no way of telling like why they stop, but they'll come in, draw a lot for a little bit, try to get better, and then just like fall off the face of the earth. And I don't know if that's discouragement or just time or whatever, but and I mean, maybe there's nothing wrong with that, because like, you don't have to be an every single day artist, but if you want to be, then you should be. Or I don't know. You guys are the artists, I guess.
I mean, I've tried things and then given them up before. Maybe it's not for everyone. I think it's a great. I think it's a cool thing to be able to do. I think it's a great thing to aspire to get better at, and everyone can do it. But some things aren't for everyone, but at least you can try, I guess.
Yeah, and we've got another comment from Cami, who said, "As for gathering one's autism, years ago I realized I was calling myself a writer, yet planned one magnum opus after another for forever, and yet didn't write for shit. So I decided I'd either keep up a daily update fanfic or stop calling myself a writer. That led to me starting a CYOA as a side story that killed the daily update fanfic, and that first CYOA has going by file names around 600 drawn panels." And sorry, I read too fast. Then the CYOA was shit, and I killed it. Worth it.
If it lasted that long, it couldn't have been that bad.
600 panels, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you learned a bunch as well.
Yeah, something that... he said lots of growth from zero with that thing. And something that Cami said in his survey thing that I wanted to point out, because other people, I know like one person in Bale exactly that this could apply to, is that like CYOAs are a great way to improve because it kind of keeps you accountable, like the people who talked about straining said. And it's like drawing one thing every day. If you mess up, it doesn't matter because either no one will notice it, or if they do notice it, you can just make a joke out of it or turn it into something else. And you can just keep on going. I think that it would be really cool to see more CYOAs come out of Bale, or any come out of Bale. And there's one anon that is like on the, like, considering it, and I really want him to do it, but we'll see if that ever happens. Hopefully he's listening and he gets encouraged to do it. And Cami said, yeah, CYOAs give you constant feedback too. It's good for people who can't work out the motivation for themselves at first. After that, drawing is a habit, and it's like trying not to piss.
I guess if work comes worse as well, like the board will write it for you. It solves one of the problems.
Yeah, give you new stuff to. You don't have to like search for ideas. It'll kind of like give it to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I've not written a COA. It's not really my place to talk.
All right, let's see if we have another question. Oh, well, we have one more quote from an anonymous survey filler doer person. He said, "Fucking draw, but don't burn yourself out. Last thing you need is a complete lack of motivation. Take breaks to avoid art block."
I would agree with the taking breaks. That's very important.
How do you balance taking breaks with staying active? Like, what does a break look like?
I think personally breaks have been terrible. I think if I take a break, it's really, really hard to get back into it. I think even if you can do just something, just pencil on paper, 10-minute sketch, and it's shit. But it's drawing's a habit, at least for me. Like I said again with the motivation. Sometimes you can really want to, and other times it's just a habit you've got to sort of learn. And if you break that, it's a disaster, at least for me.
Well, what I mean is, you should take like a 30-minute break if you've been drawing for about 2 hours or so.
Oh yeah, sure. Not to not break your hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking, this is like hiatus, sort of. Oh, not draw for a month.
Not drawing for a month is absolutely devastating to to an art streak.
Yeah.
Do not do it. It's very hard to come back from.
All right, and then Cami said something, and I'm going to end with this. He said, yes, taking breaks is as important as drawing. When you draw, you're putting something out from yourself. You need time to recharge and to gain perspective on what you've done. Some people have burnout cycles, and others keep it slow and steady. It's a personal thing. Okay, and sorry to kind of read that fast, but it is 7:30, so panel time ends here. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for drawing. Everyone who is not like doesn't draw a lot and drew something, cut out your hexagon and post it in the Bale thread, and keep on drawing.
Hopefully, there are probably a bunch of people saving them already, so hopefully,
I hope so.
Lost, even if you...
Yeah, I'll let this go on for a bit longer, and then I'll lock it and clear it, and the draw pile will just be up for anyone that wants to use it if they do want to use it. But yeah, thank you all for coming out, and I'll leave the call now. Sorry, and I will leave you with where is my, oh no, there it is. Whoops. All right, thanks for coming out. Post your stuff in Bale, keep on drawing, and yeah, I don't know whether to leave or if I'll just get kicked out, or if I should end my stream or whatever. But hey, yeah, all right. I guess I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just end my stream. Thanks. Bye. See ya.